Time I gotta talk. I said the thing is, I have to talk at church, so I got training, a little bit.
Okay, so I'm ready when you are. Just give everybody your name. Your name,
I feel like I'm on the prison roll. So your name,
name, number.
never that. So you say you want me? How you want me to do
Just
it?
say, hey, how you doing? My name is Erica B. with then your name of your company, and then say like how you got started, how long you been doing it. We'll start with that first.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready when you're ready.
All right. I gotta get. I gotta give. I don't know. Let me get in my what they call it.
This is what you do. Come on.
Exactly. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica B, airbrush designer. I'm the president and founder of Prophetic Airbrush Designs. Everybody know me as Erica B. I am the senior designer for my company, Prophetic Airbrush Designs, where we airbrush just about everything. I have been airbrushing for 27 years. I started in 1992, just with an airbrush gun that I had no idea how to use. I'm self-taught. I actually have a mentor now. His name is Malcolm McCray out of Missouri. My path as far as becoming an airbrush artist didn't start out the way that I am going now, which is I do it to inspire. Definitely to inspire young people because they need it, definitely in these days and times. A little bit about my background. When I started airbrushing, in the era where hip hop was pretty much known for, a lot of the lyrics as now. And two of my favorite artists happened to be Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. And they had a song that was out then that was called The Chronic. And a lot of my clientele were, asking for designs that actually came from the album. So I, of course, was airbrushing really not for a purpose or inspiration. I was doing it because I learned I can do it, and I was doing it extra to make money. So I discovered that doing the art that I was doing, it wasn't contributing to anything positive. And then it really took the Lord himself to tell me that I needed to stop doing the art and creating the art that I was creating. That was adding to the problem and it was not bringing the solution. So in the midst of my transition from just being Erica B, the airbrush artist, God gave me a name for the company. He told me it was going to be Prophetic Airbrush Designs. And so I started doing more airbrushing for more positive things. And when I started to decline requests for items that reflected negative music or lyrics, I started getting backlash. I started to have gangs and drug dealers who used to be my clients that were getting mad at me, and some even threatened my life because I started to say, no, I couldn't do this, or no, I wouldn't do that. And, we're talking about the Crips and Bloods, that were existing at the time in Birmingham. I mean, in my time. So there was some fear that set in, but at the same time, I knew that God had my back because I had committed myself to do this work for him. So in the process of airbrushing over 27 years, I can't tell you how many people I've met, how many young people I've seen be inspired. I'm even teaching now. We're talking about ages 13 and on up, just seeing people being inspired and lives being changed. I'm talking about people literally getting closer to God just because of the relationship that I have developed with them through the airbrush. I also want to say Birmingham, Alabama, a lot of people, I hear artists all over, they say they don't have the support sometimes in their own city. I can say that has not happened to me. God has really given me a lot of favor in my city. And a lot of people that have worn my art. I mean, if I try to go down the list of names of people that have influenced me through music, gospel rappers, that has been such a tremendous blessing to me. That actually inspired me to want to continue to do this art. And so now with being at this point in my career, I have to give back because our next generation definitely needs it. So I do consider myself as being blessed. And I just feel like it would not be right if I did not give back to pour into our young people so they can have something to aspire to. So that's what we have to do now. We have to, we live to create, we live to inspire, and we definitely have to make marks that cannot be erased.
Right. So what are some of the things that you paint? Now, when I ask you a question, just repeat the question and then answer it. You can be like, some of the things I painted were,
All right, was that good? Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you have painted?
Some of the things I have painted. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I think I can start with this one. This one was in 2016. This was a wall mirror project for a high school in Bessemer, Alabama. I got a call from the art teacher who I had met some years ago through another middle school that she worked for. And she said the principal wanted a project done. When I got to the school, I didn't realize that it was the same school that my dad actually helped construct. My he's a mason foreman. He's been doing that since I was a baby, ever since 1972, I think. So I'm telling my age. So going to the school, I literally had tears in my eyes driving onto the parking lot. I hadn't even entered the building yet. And so knowing that my father, my natural father, had actually laid the foundation of a building that I could walk into and I was able to, create on, was definitely, that's something that I will never forget. So my creative ability definitely comes from God, but it's definitely in my family. So I watched my dad build, not with just bricks, but I also saw him build our foundation as a family, through the word. And he drew himself. He used to draw posters and banners for some of my cousins. So the wall mural in Bessemer, there's a whole lot more to go into how that came forth, but that's one thing that I can say was, I'll never forget that one. Probably doing the Alabama themed car. I did that back in 2017. I worked with a gentleman out of a car garage that did the foundational paint, but I did the airbrushing. The airbrushing took 12 hours to paint. I think I left like probably around midnight doing that project. Had no clue that same car that we worked on together would end up being featured on the news. So the wall, the car, I don't know how many baby helmets I've painted. I can't even count, for kids at different ballparks all across the city, some outside of the city. License plates, custom shoes, jeans, outfits. I mean, goodness, the list goes on and on. So somebody used to ask me this question, like, what can you airbrush? And I said, we can airbrush just about everything to a car tire. Like, literally, we could.
Okay, so as far as being in business, what was some of may have been a downfall that you bounced back from?
That's a great avenue. Let me talk about this segment, how I got to Tarrant. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. So I've been airbrushing, starting at home, and my first time stepping out, actually moving into a physical location, was about 2008, and I had a storefront. And in that storefront, I learned a lot. I had to do a lot of marketing, a lot of legwork, which, we still do. We still promote, still market. Social media is so big now. But at that time, it was a challenge to keep the store afloat. The overhead, the cost, and being an airbrush artist, the demand was there, but just the cost, of where I wasn't balancing out too well. So unfortunately, I had to end up moving out. And in the process of moving out, I felt disappointed on myself, and then there were other people that were disappointing me as well. And it started to take a mental toll on me. And literally coming down the road that I come to now, to where I am airbrushing right now, I was really battling suicide. And there was a young guy, we call him Turtle, we call him God's gift, that was helping me, through this process. He don't know that, but he know it now. And I literally was trying to call somebody on the phone to talk to, just to help me through it. And he said, no. He said, he always called me Prez. He said, no, Prez, we can't do that. So I forgot that was on. I need to start over on.
Oh, no, we can start from right there. I can cut in. That's fine.
You know they're ready, what I was talking about.
I know. So start at Prez.
Yeah. Okay, so, he used to say, Prez, Prez, no, we can't do that, Prez. And I made it to his house where he was actually storing some of my equipment that I was using when I had the storefront, just for storage purposes, because I had to make a decision on what I was going to do at that time. And it was a hard period for me. But I'll never forget when God told me this. He said, the building is a place, but he said, the art is in you. So he said, what I put inside of you, he said, that's what people will come to you for. So I no longer felt bound to, oh my God, I don't have the building anymore. So he told me this too, go back to your first love. Before I started airbrushing, I started hand painting. So I started to get my fabric paints and things like that, paint brushes. I poured out everything that I did before I picked up the airbrush, and then it was like a rebuilding, everything about me, about my life, just working through that period. So I had to bounce back you know, from that time. So I learned a lot, you know. I can say that I try to help other people, you know, when they are looking to make a decision like that, and just give them words of wisdom and advice and tell them, you know, what I found that works for me. So it may not be, you know, everybody's, you know, avenue to actually go and have a brick and mortar, but I will say this, you know, you'll never know unless you try, but try with wisdom. That's the one thing I can say.
Okay, hang on one second.